Hi, and welcome back to XPlane 11 in VR again, obviously. So it's later on in the same day as the previous recording I did of this, where I did a little flight from Edinburgh up to Dundee, and I thought I'd actually try the return journey. Having, in the meantime, done a little bit more investigation about how to use the autopilot, and specifically how to turn it off. So just before I take off, so if I set a heading, yeah, that's okay. So the aircraft is obviously trying to go to this heading now. So the way to turn the autopilot off is there's nothing on there for turning the autopilot off. It's this little red button here, which then turns off all the autopilot stuff. What I've also done is this button on my controller, the kind of menu one, the upper one. If I press that, I've got that actually assigned to the same button as well. So now I have a bit more control over the autopilot as well. So I was thinking I might use a little bit of autopilot on the journey back. I just wanted to figure out how well it works. So let's just set my current heading down the runway. Everything's set up apart from, let's take the brake off. I'm not going to put flaps on this time, because every time I take off in this thing I put the flaps on, and I don't know, the whole thing seems to leap into the air a bit too soon. So I'm going to take off without flaps this time. Right, let's go for it. Give it some rudder, quite a bit of rudder. Try and keep it going down the runway. Trying pushing forward a bit on the yoke just to keep the nose down. Okay, we're in the green, let's go. Let's come back on the throttle a little bit, probably don't need that much. I haven't really planned my route, I just now need to be heading roughly south. I mean, a little bit more than south actually. Right, let's turn before we get to the bridges. Keep my altitude going up. Watch my speed. So yeah, I did a little bit of reading and looking at videos and things like that. Regarding how the autopilot works, and yeah, I feel a little bit more comfortable with it now. Right, let's just get some more altitude going. If I seemed a little distracted for a moment then, it's off to my left is my living room window, which was open, and it just slammed shut, which just threw me a little bit because I don't live on the ground floor. So it's like, hang on, who slammed my window? Yeah, I think it's actually just quite windy out there at the moment. Right, so I'm going to set that heading there, and I'm going to put heading hold and altitude hold on as well. Let's just come back off the throttle just a little bit, so we should pick up quite a bit of speed now. So as I say, I haven't really, actually getting quite a lot of speed. We'll just put that down there a second. Go on the yoke, there we go. Let's just ease off the throttle, don't need to be going that fast. So I haven't really planned a route. I figure, yeah, if I keep heading, yeah, about that kind of direction, that should get me in the right place. So the other thing I've figured out is, while I've got the altitude hold on, if I just zoom in a little bit, if I got the altitude on altitude hold on, I should say, I can, or I haven't figured out, I saw in the tutorial I should say, I can use this button here and rotate it that way to actually raise my altitude slightly and rotate it this way to lower it. I can't dial in a specific altitude, but every click on here I think it's 200 feet of altitude or something like that. It's a bit hard to do precisely in VR, it has to be said. Like, I felt a lot of I heard a lot of clicking there and everything, but there's nothing to tell me exactly how, what sort of altitude I've dialed in there. It's probably one of those times where playing this flat screen makes more sense, because you'll be able to use the mouse cursor to just click on this side of the dial and set it to exactly what you want. Okay, so we seem to be doing okay. So if I kind of head straight down there, that should get me roughly in the right place. I'm guessing the wind is still coming more or less from the west, so that's going to be try again. It's going to bring me in on the right, correct runway. The next thing I want to figure out, not right now, but the next thing I want to figure out is the whole ATC thing, because there is, where is it? Some Windows. Ground services ATC. So there is an ATC window, but I'm not entirely sure how to use this. We've got like file a flight plan and stuff like that. I guess that makes sense if you're doing a fancy flight plan. Oh, the sun just come out. I think the sun just come out. I'm flying with the current time and current weather conditions. Looks about right, I think. How are we doing? Speed looks good, altitude looks good. Probably do with being a bit higher really. I suppose I am flying a little bit low. Let's go up a bit more. What are we at? About 13. Unfortunately I got no way of knowing. Whoa, 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 that's climbing quite fast. That's climbing so fast I've stalled. Okay, autopilot off. Bad autopilot, bad autopilot. Right, let's put heading back on and just tell it to hold altitude. So that was quite naughty. Apparently this autopilot is a little naive. It doesn't fully understand everything that's happening with your aircraft, quite why it would pitch my nose up quite so badly. Having asked it to go up a little bit. See what it does this time. It definitely just seems to try and max out the vertical speed. You can dial in a vertical speed. I mean, maybe that's the thing you should do, is actually dial in so I can dial in a vertical speed, and it's just going to keep climbing at like 400 feet a minute now. So presumably that's the way to do it, is to actually dial that in. Let's say get to 2000 and hold altitude. That's the way to do it. So yeah, I suppose what I should really be doing is doing that, is dialing in the vertical speed I want, and then when I'm at the altitude, I actually hit the altitude hold. That would make sense. Oh, I've got this far. The aircraft is flying itself. I should probably enjoy the view, shouldn't I? I know I keep banging on about it every time I fly this, but I'm just astonished at how good this actually looks, and it doesn't look anywhere near as good in the recordings. It's, I don't know, being in here is just fantastic. Yeah, it's like everything I ever wanted out of a flight sim. But maybe the only way this would get better is if I could somehow combine having this fully interactive cockpit with a physical yoke. I'm not sure how that would work. I can't really imagine how that would work at all. Because yeah, I like the idea of reaching out and using all these dials and stuff like that, but I like the idea of actually holding a physical yoke and physical pedals. If anything, I think virtual yoke with physical pedals would be a good compromise. Right, how are we doing? Not quite halfway yet. So I mean, obviously I'm doing a fairly straight flight. I'm not worrying about if there are any hazards or anything like that in the way. That's kind of, well, I mean, there's nothing on this chart, for example, to actually show me anything like that. It would be kind of nice at some point to try and fly taking into account hazards and stuff. I feel I'm a bit low. Maybe 2,000 feet is a bit low. It would be nice to actually fly this with a version of ATC where if you do stray into areas you're not supposed to, you get told off. Have to really think about how you're flying. So let's have a look. Yep, EGPH, that's where we're going. The next thing I need to do as well, or something I need to do, is actually find or read or watch a tutorial about how to actually use both these instruments. Nav data out of date. That's worrying. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure what these are for and how to use them, so a little bit of work to actually learn those as well. How are we doing fuel wise? Yeah, should be okay. It's kind of weird, hands off. At the same time, it's quite nice sitting here and finally feeling confident enough to look around at the cockpit, look around at the instruments, really observe what's going on. My landing lights are turned on. Why are my landing lights turned on? I don't think that's necessary. I'll leave that alone for now. What's that? Fuel pump is off. Pitot heat's off. Do I not want the fuel pump on? Presumably not. I reckon pitot heat's okay. It's not cold enough to ice. Right, I hope. I don't know if there's failures built into this. It's another thing to check. Okay. We're sort of, seems a bit hazy, so it's going to be quite late, I guess, before I actually see the airport. Should be off, what, maybe over that way. So the plan is to sort of carry on in this direction until I hit the South Shore, and then sort of track up the Forth yeah, try and visually spot Edinburgh Airport. Can't see the bridges yet. This is definitely quickly turning into one of my favourite uses of PCVR now, no question. Disappointingly, in a recording I did last weekend, just before I finished, I noticed that the SR-71 was one of the aircraft you can fly, and you can actually get in it. The virtual cockpit can be sat in VR, but it seems like not everything in it is VR enabled. I'm trying to remember, like, I don't think you can actually grab the joystick, which is going to make flying it very, very difficult. So sadly, it's not fully VR like this is. Right, can we see anything we recognise yet? Still not seeing the bridges. And I was worrying if I was flying a little bit too low perhaps. At the same time, that cloud layer, I don't know what it is, but that looks, I don't know, a few hundred feet above me, so I'm probably actually flying at a reasonable altitude. It's definitely one of those things that's probably not actually going to come across quite so well in the video, is just how three-dimensional those clouds look and how very there they are. Just need to readjust my headset again. Clouds look to be getting a little bit closer. Let's just go down a wee bit. Well, that looks to be Arthur Seat and Leith over there. Can't be far off now. Yeah, I think that definitely is Arthur Seat over there. It looks really quite hazy in my headset, which is really quite cool. I seem to be getting close to this cloud base again. I think this cloud base is getting lower. Let's come down a little more. Whoa, don't. Yeah, it really just likes maximising the vertical speed, doesn't it? Oh, I nearly was into overspeed territory there as well. Okay, that's a great lesson to not do that, I think. Just come back on the throttle. Right, I think I'm going to autopilot off. Take control. Definitely the pendulum's over there. So watch my vertical speed. Exactly going to be coming in for a conventional approach. I just want to get a sense of where it is. I think it's over there. I can't see it yet. Can I do altitude hold and just control? Ah, no. Alright, it won't let me just hold the altitude. Fair enough. Okay, so let's just dial in heading and hold the altitude for a moment. I just want to get a sense of where we are. I think that's it over there. I can see. Yeah, that's got to be it. Okay. Definitely a wee bit disoriented. I can see what looks like. Oh, I think. Do you know what? I think I can see the runway kind of coming into view. Looks like I'm going for a straight in. I am as well. Okay. I can see the Varsi. But I couldn't quite see the runway, and it's only just coming into view now. In the headset anyway. Right, I look to be on a decent glide slope. Now I'm gonna give it some flaps. Watch my vertical speed, give it a bit more throttle just to stop my airspeed dropping. Vertical speed is getting a bit too shallow. It's getting above the glide slope, there we go, I'll soon be back on it. Go full flaps. See if I can bring this in. Vertical speed looks reasonable. Airspeed's not terrible. I hope there's no one behind me because we're going in kind of slow. This would be fun with other traffic. I've not even looked to see if there is an online component to this. So actually flying this with other rail people would be interesting. Alright, I just need to come right just a little bit. Oh, I'm getting below the glide slope. I think it might be a little bit of a crosswind, I'm not entirely sure. Look to be on the glide slope quite well. Nose is a bit down. I'll bring it up at the last moment. Oh, drifting off to the left. Pull the nose up. And we're down. And we're down. Let's give it some brakes. Right, anyone seen Taxiway? Haven't seen a Taxiway. They probably want me off the runway as soon as possible. Kind of do with something and tell me where the next taxiway is. Should probably have had the chart out for the... Oh! There's an X. Probably means I shouldn't go there. Let's do it anyway. I'm tiny, I can fit on there. Don't know where the little boys are supposed to park up. I'm just going to park up on this tarmac up here. Well, should we go and... Let's go and park up down here, where everyone else is. There's actually some traffic on the apron over there going around. Huh, never noticed that before. So I don't know where the light aircraft are supposed to park up at Edinburgh, if they're even allowed to land here. Might be fun to actually take one of the smaller jets and actually do that same flight. Okay, let's go and pack up over here. For a default airport, this isn't bad actually, especially compared to what I was used to. with flight sims back in the day. Whoa! Whoa! Okay, that was nearly an accident. Let's just park up here. Oh, let's turn round. Hang on. Not facing the right way. And I was pressing the wrong thing for the toe brake. There we go. That'll do. Okay, let's put the brake on. Parking brake on. Worked. Now we can get out. Oh, need to stand up, really, don't I, for it to work properly. Can I close the door again? Don't ask how I did that. There we go. That's so cool. I just flew that all the way from Dundee to Edinburgh without really knowing how to fly a plane. Almost got it on the line as well. So that's not too bad. What? I want to be facing that way. There we go. Oh, that's really satisfying. So much fun. So much fun. The way the clouds are drawn, there's kind of this, I don't know if it's going to show up well in the video, but there's just this kind of ever so slightly stippled effect, and every so often it looks like there's lightning happening. It's obviously just as the particles are generated and moved around and obscure each other and things like that. But yeah, that was fun. So I'm back at Edinburgh now. I'm parked up again at home. I feel like I shouldn't be in this place. I feel like it's for the bigger aircraft, but what the hell. It's VR, right? You can get away with anything. So from this dip into XPlane 11, XPlane 11 in VR. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.